be bigger on the screen?
No, something has gone high.
Okay.
Uciekasz? Uciekasz? Uciekasz teraz?
Tak. To znaczy jeszcze poczekam chwilę, pani zacznie. Szybko muszę.
Wszystko. Czy ty potrzebujesz sobie zabrać słuchawki swoje, czy nie?
Wyłączyłem przypadkowo ten...
Co wyłączyłeś?
Drodzy Państwo, widzę, że mnie słychać. W takim razie przed nami ostatnie wystąpienie przygotowane na dziś, które dotknie tematów troski o środowisko, odkrywania świata i zaawansowanych technologii, ale też najnowszych trendów na rynku zabawkarskim. Zapraszam na scenę panią Rayne Rice, pochodzącą z Nowego Jorku ekspertkę i specjalistkę rynku zabawkarskiego, która opowie o najnowszych trendach w branży. Wystąpienie będzie w całości tłumaczone. Słuchawki można znaleźć tutaj. Na kanale pierwszym będzie dostępny język polski, jeśli ktokolwiek potrzebuje tego tłumaczenia. I jeszcze słowem wstępu. Rayne Rice to światowa specjalistka, która od lat dzieli się swoją wiedzą i rezultatami badań podczas największych imprez w Norymberdze, Nowym Jorku, Honkongu czy Londynie. Rayne, the stage is yours.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, I guess. It's morning on my time clock. So thank you so much for coming to see my presentation today. And it will be streamed and also sent to the exhibitors afterwards because many of the exhibitors can't come to the presentation. So I'm going to get started. We have 1 hour and a lot of information, some major trends in the industry. So let's get started. And this is my contact information if you want to connect with me afterwards. So the top trends that we're going to talk about are meta toys, brands for fans, which is about licensed product and entertainment product, and discover. Toys Go Green is also about sustainability. I'm not the only one that comes up with these trends. I work with a whole team of people. With Spielwarenmesse, we have people, some of them sitting in the audience today, and they're from North America, Europe, Asia, so many different regions, and we all confer together starting in July of each year as to what the major trends are. And then we all decide which ones are going to be the top trends. And then we start to pull together examples and pull together the information. Meta toys is one of the trends, but before I start talking about this particular trend, I want to take a little step back because the metaverse, many people were talking about it last year, defining it in different ways. So it was kind of hard to decide what really is the metaverse. So here's an example. It's a virtual reality world where your personal avatar can go to school, to work, to play games, and to socialize. So kids go there to socialize with other kids and to play games. And it's on mobile phones, iPads, laptops, sometimes using a VR headset. But let's see how that's working to engage kids and fans. I'm going to mainly focus on the kid market here, but we do have some example of adult products as well. And why should you even care about the metaverse at this point? Well, your competitors are there. I have some examples to show where toy competitors are engaging, and you don't have to have a toy that has virtual reality or augmented reality. You can have a toy that's as simple as plush to make an impact. These are just some of the examples. And in fact, if you look at the end here, you'll see that, let's see if I can get this to, no. On the end, you see what a regular headset looks like, a virtual headset, but look how big it is on a kid's head. Kids can't wear one for more than 10 minutes before getting fatigued because it's too heavy for them. So it is something to keep in mind. So metaverse is actually merging with toys. Lego is building a Lego metaverse. We don't know what it is yet, and it hasn't been revealed. But last year, they invested $1 billion with Epic Games, who makes the Fortnite franchise and a number of other games. So Lego invested $1 billion, Sony invested $1 billion, and they just put up some ads looking for some people to assist them with it. So we're real excited to see what Lego is going to do in this metaverse. Minecraft is already out there. It's been out there for decades. And it's where kids interact together. Microsoft and Lego are both involved in that Minecraft world. Warner Brothers has launched a game called Multiverse. And they actually play with different brands together, DC Comics and all of the brands that are in the Warner Brothers world. And then at the bottom, you'll see WowWee and Roblox Roblox has a world called Twilight Daycare, where kids can go and play as if they're little kids in the daycare, and they play with little babies. So now WowWee has come up with actual physical products. I have some examples of that in a few minutes. Now, one thing that people are doing also is they're making alliances with the avatars. So these are metaverse partners. And the avatar is who you are in the game. It's when you're walking around a game, it's your personification of who you are. And you can make it look like you or make it look completely not like you if you want to. People are buying Gucci clothes, NFTs of Gucci clothes, and putting it on their avatars. In fact, Gucci Garden has been in Roblox since 2021 already. So they've got a head start. Some of these brands that are working with Roblox, there's over 100 different areas for kids to play in Roblox, different games. So it's a little hard to track. Luxury brands, they're developing NFTs, especially in China, where they can then go into the metaverse wearing these exotic clothes. There's 5 new metaverse brands in Roblox that were just introduced since October of last year. One is Festival Tycoon, where you can make amusement parks and have fun. Black Adam was a movie that came out in October last year. It's a DC comic character, but they have a world there as well. My Little Pony from Hasbro just entered the metaverse. He-Man and Masters of the Universe is making a comeback from Mattel, and they have games that you can play in the metaverse, plus there's physical toys that Mattel makes. And then the FIFA World Cup on Roblox, that's one of the newest ones with the most recent football championships. Okay, so that's a little bit about what the metaverse is before we get into some of these toys. So the top emerging brands are these 4 areas. We're going to start with Meta Toys. And what actually is the metaverse and how does it affect toys? I only have a few slides that have a lot of words like this. Most of them are pictures, so you can have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. But it's linking our lives in different technologies, whether it's digital, physical, or some crossover between those two play experiences. For kids, it's playing in a world where they customize their gameplay, customize their avatar, and socialize with their friends. For adults, it can also include NFTs, blockchain, Bitcoin, VR and AR technology. So a little bit more complicated, and I have a few examples to talk to you about later. And how much people want to be involved in the metaverse is really up to them. The toy industry has recognized this trend, and select people are going in and being involved in it. If your toys are products that are brought to life digitally by means of augmented or virtual reality, that's a meta toy. If they're physical but tie to gameplay in a metaverse as replicas of something that's happening in that metaverse world, toys that explain what the metaverse is, or NFTs, whether they're standalone NFTs, and those are non-fungible. How many people own an NFT? I don't own one yet. I don't know if anybody else does. Okay, so all of this is kind of mumbo jumbo until you see the examples. Hot Wheels NFT Garage by Mattel. These are actually their fancy race cars, whether they're race cars, monster cars, different types of vehicles. People can go in and collect them. So they'll have an NFT that's their personal digital ownership of these different cars, but they can trade them with other people on this NFT Garage network. Now, these are for people 18 and older. And it says clearly in the contract, you need to be 18 or older to buy this because you're using cryptocurrency to buy it. He-Man and has a sim and battle arena in Roblox.
No.
And so it's Mattel, Netflix, and GameFan, 3 companies working together to come up with these games that will support the brand, Masters of the Universe. At Germany's Spielwarenmesse this year, a company called Hollow Toys in Ireland was in their startup area. They actually won the award for the startup. And they have these tattoos and stickers that kids can put on their body or they can put in different places of their room. And then they use a phone and they zoom in on it and it comes to life. So it springs to life if it's on their phone, on their body as a tattoo, or if it's in their room somewhere. And they have kid-safe technology, so none of the information about that child is being allowed out into the universe. It's only in their own playroom. And then at the bottom, Squishmallows actually is a plush brand. How many of you know what Squishmallows are? Okay, so a number of people do. They're plush that come in different sizes, small, medium, and large. And they're really soft and cuddly, but they have nothing to do with technology. They're just plush toys. But they went on to Roblox and they developed a game where if you don't have any Squishmallows at home, you can collect them online in this world, or you can buy them. Well, I asked them, well, how successful has it been for you? Because they've been doing this since 2021. They shared this slide with me, and it's the #1 toy game on Roblox. So kids are going there in this Squishmallow world, and over 20 million Squishmallows have been sold online. And then in addition to being sold online, Squishmallows is the #1 brand in plush in many countries of the world. And in fact, during last year in 2022, still the end of the pandemic, the plush category grew by almost 30%. So they're making money on it in the real world and also in the digital world. So definitely they went in early and they captured brand share. Mika KI is a programmable robot by Cosmos. You program it online, you program it on your little computer, but what's interesting about it is there's different points of articulation that activate this. So if you move your hand in a certain way, that could mean that the robot turns around. Or maybe it means that he does a dance, or he stomps, or he stops, or he goes backward. So whatever you program him to do with those different activities, you kick your foot and he'll do something. Then after all that's programmed, you can just play with it with touch control and gesture control, which is pretty cool. We talked about the Lego metaverse, which I'm excited about seeing what that turns into, because Lego generally does a great job. In fact, Lego is, once again, the biggest brand in the world, 9 years running. They're about $7.4 billion now, which is, if you multiply that by 4, that's how many zloty it is. In the middle, the Twilight Daycare doll babies, they're in the Roblox world, and that's what they look like as real babies in the real world. The VR dinosaurs, kids get a little headset that fits a kid's head, and it's not heavy. And they can play games, they can learn dinosaur facts. The dinosaurs can come to life in 3D when they're playing with it, and this is a company in Canada. And then there's the Bill Nye Science Kid, which has tons of experiments for kids. And some of them, after the experiment is over, you can use your phone, you can do some AR or VR technology. So it's bringing in some of these new technologies in some toys. Now, these are some companies in Poland. One is called the Smart Bee Club, and they just introduced a Party Box Young Engineer. So it's a box that has experiments for kids up to 6 participants. And the kids love doing these experiments because they're not only learning something, but they're doing it with their friends. So that makes it fun. They also have the Stellar Galaxia AR cards that it's a kind of a card game, learning information about the galaxy and astronomy. And the kids can have those come to life, and it's a lower price point. So they're playing with different price points and making it affordable for many people. The Ultimate Squishy Human Body has a skeleton that you can put all the pieces and parts into, and then when you use your phone afterwards, it comes to life. And so kids can learn more about anatomy. On the bottom, the Alilo Happy Bunny just won one of the Toy Year Awards this morning. And it's a great little toy because for kids, They don't need to know the technology behind how it's working. But the technology is you touch the ears, you touch the face, you touch the tummy, you touch the feet, and different things come to life. It tells stories, it sings songs, you can put on lullabies and help the kid go to sleep. But it becomes their friend and their little partner. So I want to include that because even babies and even little kids can get involved with their parents activating play for them, but for them it's all about touch. It's just magical for a kid. So the second trend is brands for fans. So this one looks at our fascination of nostalgia, whether it's positive memories of the products you played with as kids and wanting to share it with your own kids, grandparents sharing with their kids and then with their grandkids. Maybe it's plush or an action figure or a doll that you love. Barbie is having a Barbie movie this year. So it's a way to share your love of a particular brand. Do any of you have a favorite brand? Like you have a t-shirt or you collect anything? Yeah, so there's a number of us that do that. But they're not just retro toys. There's new toys that are tied to entertainment and licensing too that are building new fans and new fans across generations. So your product is in brands for fans if your toys inspire the adult world, or we call it kidults. There's figures and products that adults loved as kids, and maybe they didn't get them as kids, but now that they earn their own salary, they can buy some of these products for themselves and share that love with their children. So there's also toys with retro licenses for young and old, current licenses, and also new pop culture licenses. So in the corner, we talked about the My Little Pony and Roblox. So they have My Little Ponies that tie to the play in the metaverse that you can buy separately as well, and that just started. Roblox has a branded Fortnite game with Monopoly. The Nerf blasters that you buy that are kind of dart shooting, blasters. When you buy that blaster, you get a code, and when you go onto Roblox, your character has that particular blaster in their hand. So you get to have a different one than the kids in the game have if you've purchased this. Funkoverse. Funko is not just about action figures anymore. They've introduced games and different sizes of collectibles. This particular Funkoverse Marvel set has mini little figures that are like their bigger figures, and there's a whole game that's tied to Marvel. Up in the corner, you've got Mickey, you've got Sully, you've got Belle, and all of those are tied to the Disney Mirrorverse, which is a mobile game. So these characters are made in real life action figures with like 19 points of articulation. Their arms and legs move and you can do a lot with them. And then they also come to life in the game. So fans of that particular game can have the characters that come to life. Now the top 10 most valuable toy brands worldwide. Lego is still number one, $7.4 billion. And this just came out last week, this information. Bandai Namco's two, Fisher-Price is the third brand in the world. Now, Fisher-Price, Barbie, and Hot Wheels are all owned by Mattel, but most people don't know the Mattel name. They know their favorite brands. Hasbro, which is listed as number 10, owns Nerf and Magic the Gathering. And at the number 9 there, Magic the Gathering, even though it's listed as number 9, it is the fastest growing brand in the world last year. It grew by over 122%. So it's a trading card game, but there's a lot of other merchandise that is tied with it. And it's been around for over 25 years now. So there's a lot of people playing it. Dragon Ball Z is also another character that's very strong. And Pop is Funko brands. So for example, here's some item. Pokemon has been around over 25 years. They put together these elite trainer boxes with lots of the trading cards in there, the new trading cards, as well as some of the classic old ones. They sold out. They made another elite mark training set. That one sold out. So around the world, this is a very popular brand for kids and adults, and they have worldwide competitions. In the middle, the Star Trek tri-dimensional chess game is actually just like in the Star Trek movies and Star Trek TV shows where it comes to life. You can play with it on 3 different levels. The Harry Potter Hogwarts Wizards chess set, they celebrated a 20th anniversary, so they made a new chess set, and they have a Snape character in gold, and it's only available with this set. And then the Volkswagen T1 camping bus looks just like the 1960s version of this Volkswagen bus, down to every little detail. This is a new brand. This is called Disney Kingdomania. They've got little tiny characters, but they look like 8-bit character avatars like you would in a video game. There's 40 of them to collect now, but they're going to probably have even more. But it's a whole new world, and they come in these round, hidden boxes, so you don't really know what you're getting. But once again, that's something that people like. And then there's a whole gameplay that's tied to it as well. So that's going to continue. It just started late last year in the US. Lorcana, the Disney Lorcana trading card game, is going to be available in Europe either the end of this year, depending on the country, or in Scandinavia, for example, in spring of 2024. And it has, just like any other trading card game, it's got your trading card packs, it's got your individual card sets, and it's got deluxe versions. But every quarter, they're coming out with new ones. So this one, Disney is really partnering with this. In the US, Ravensburger, and across the world, Ravensburger is the distributor and the partner. And it's already got enormous success in the US, selling out. On the right-hand side, this is a new Lego set. It doesn't even come out until March 1st, but it ties to the BTS band. I don't know if you have any teenagers at home that watch or listen to BTS. They're a Korean pop band. And so they took their latest album, which was a Dynamite Disco. Hello there. And they've got the characters, and they've got like all the play that's ties to the, the disco theme and the donut shop and everything. So fans of that will love that as well. And actually, they're bringing in new players because people who are BTS fans aren't generally Lego fans. So they're bringing in a whole new group of people. Lego also has sets for adults, like this Van Gogh set. And in the corner, you can see there's a little minifigure that comes with it. And I blew it up a little bit because he's also painting, the Van Gogh painting, the little minifigure, as well as you have this, Lego-fied version of the Starry Nights. On the bottom, Harry Potter and Avengers card games. In the Harry Potter game, the 4 suits are actually the 4 houses of Harry Potter. Whether you're from Gryffindor or, the different houses, it's listed in there. And the same thing with the Avengers. It ties into the different Avenger characters. So even if you're just playing a regular card game, you can still play with your favorite characters. In the middle is the Black Adam figure by DC Comics, with a movie that came out last October, very highly defined by McFarlane Toys. There's Marvel dice games, which are by the Ops. And then there's a company in India that came up with trading card game for little kids. So if you're trying to guess, you have 10 questions to guess. Does he wear red? Does he have a power thing on his chest, et cetera? And then you can guess, it's Iron Man. But it's very simplified for the youngest fans of Marvel. And then there's obviously the trading card games and the packs that are made by Konami for Marvel, which have been around for a couple decades, but they're coming back again. And they're doing very well. And then Upper Deck also makes their trading cards. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, for those people who were fans of that. It's the 25th anniversary. So Diamond Comics made this set of the 4 original characters with some old comic books, and it sells for $75 for the 4 characters. So this is definitely an adult purchase. On the bottom, Stranger Things, which is a very popular Netflix film. They've got figures, they've got collector items, they've got trading cards, and it's only streaming on Netflix. So they've got a huge following around the world. And that's one of the trends too, is people aren't watching regular TV as much. They're streaming when they want to. And that's one of the brands that they were doing it with. Gigapets celebrates its 25th anniversary. How many of you had Gigapets when you were little? Anybody? Yeah. But they don't die anymore like they used to. The Tamagotchis and the Gigapets used to die, but they don't anymore. And this one is actually tied to the Hello Kitty brand. Clipology. Well, first, let's go to Barbie. There's a Barbie movie this summer, and it was supposed to be kind of more of an adult movie, but it's really kind of kitschy, and the video that's on YouTube is hilarious. So we think there's going to even be a bigger splash with this movie. Ryan Gosling is Ken, and Margot Robbie is the portrays Barbie in life. The Clipology game is actually like a trivia game, but it's cloud-based. So it's movies and TV shows that you're going to want to watch. And it changes all the time because it's in the cloud. So new episodes come in and you get new trivia questions. It's not like your old Trivial Pursuit that has old questions from 25 years ago and all the history questions that I wasn't good at. But it's always changing. These mini brands where they make little 2-inch versions of, for example, the Disney princesses. They make food that you are used to eating in your home. And they even have a little mini mart where you can display all of these little mini things as if you have your own little shop. There's a company called Zuru makes these mini brands, and they're one of the best-selling collectibles. So it's not just men that are collecting this, or boys. This is girls. This is lots of people collecting these. The Mini Toy Box brand has small Monopoly games, small Barbie, small Hot Wheels, and they're all tiny in little boxes, and you don't know what you're getting until you open it. On the bottom, Barbie now has a 5.5-inch doll, which is a collectible. And so it's a different, size. It has different hair, different play pattern, but it appeals to that Barbie fan. MJ has also gotten into this trend, and they've taken their most famous Bratz dolls from 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and they've packaged them in 2-inch little boxes. And they look just like the ones that kids played with 20 years ago. So that's a big push. And they also took their LOL Surprise, which is one of their most popular brands, and they've miniaturized that. And they've miniaturized the miniature accessories. So collectors are getting into the game big time. The next trend is Discover. And this is all about families and kids who, during COVID and during the pandemic, they were home a lot. And they longed to get out and play in the yard. They longed to go travel. They wanted to learn new things, but they were so tired of being online and doing their homework and doing Zoom meetings as parents. So this is all about bringing children to the unknown and letting them play in a bigger world. Whether they're, we know kids are curious. They always want to ask questions. So the outside world is big, whether families are going to travel in another country, or if they're going to go and learn about travel before they go and teach their kids some facts about that culture. Whether it's unknown galaxies, being a space explorer, or being an undersea explorer, or maybe just going into your backyard and actually enjoying the forests and the little insects and all those small little things and how to do that best. And then there's the world of pets. A lot of families adopted pets during the pandemic, but some families didn't. And those kids wanted a pet. So maybe they got a plush or they got a character instead. And so that's another trend that ties to Discover. So your product is included if you're helping kids discover foreign cultures, introducing them to the world of animals and plants, experiencing adventures in nature themselves firsthand, and products that explain outer space, deep sea, unknown, and things that talk about history and teaching kids about different types of sciences. This world game, Children of the World by Tactic, is actually now in Polish. And the game is really engaging for kids because it teaches them things about how kids are different in different parts of the world and how they're alike. What do they eat for breakfast? When do they go to school? What are they learning? What kind of sports do they play? What food do they eat? And all this is included to teach kids that, we're really not all that different than other kids in the world. But there are some things that are different, so let's learn about it. The Chemical Detective Science Board in Poland, they won an award this year for having a really fun way to teach kids about the elements and science in a different way, because usually you don't learn about that until you're in 10th or 11th grade. So younger kids can learn about this too and learn how exciting that can be. Learning about the world and the world map. Bright Junior Media in Poland has a world map puzzle that kids can put together, and you can see it's a pretty big puzzle, so it's fun for kids to do. There's a Read a Book interactive books by Albi, which teaches kids about how, why, what, learning how to do things. There's over 2,500 different stories, and it's just a way for kids to discover more things that they're interested in. The Scouted Out game by India teaches kids about different countries and things. In the middle is the History of Life on Earth, which won the Toy Award in Germany. And it teaches kids about paleontology and botany and astronomy and different kinds of sciences that they're not usually used to. Extreme Bots, Charlie, the astronaut, this is by a company in Spain, World Brands. It teaches kids about robots. They can learn to program a robot, but he's also kind of a space encyclopedia. So you can ask him questions, he can answer them. So you're learning many things there. And on the bottom, this is a motorized solar system where the planets go around the sun, but you can also change and put a planet in the middle and see how fast or how slow that would go if you want to. And there's a way of learning about that too. So from learning from within to opening up that world. Discover K Observation Kit by Mokopico in Poland, distributed by Mokopico, has a little jar that you can put your bugs in, and has a magnifying glass so you can see those little bugs. It has a little scooper. It has just all kinds of tools that you can use when you're out in your garden or in the forest to learn about things. Germany has a couple of books that teach kids about insects, but it's not just how to identify that insect, but how do insects communicate with each other? How do they talk together? How does an ant tell the rest of the commune, come and get some food? There's a lot of food here. And then they also have these bird cards, which is a different set. And it teaches kids for the birds that are in your neighborhood or birds that are in, where you live, what are they called? What do they look like? Where do they have their nests? Once again, how do they interact with other birds? The underground and overground puzzle is a big 18-inch puzzle. It's beautiful, big pieces for little kids. And it teaches kids that some animals live above ground, but some live under the ground. And what do they do? And how do you get fossils? What's happening there? So it's just a different play pattern for kids to learn. And then in the bottom is the Mint D Doggy by Wowie. So this is one of those programmable robots. So the parents program it to do different things, and then they give it to the kid, and the kids have touch control. When they touch its ears or its nose or its foot, it does different things. And they can also do it by gesture control. Like they say, come on, puppy, or go away, go. And it'll do that. And they'll turn around, the puppy will turn around. So there's a lot of different activities kids can do to train their pet, even though it's not a live pet. Now let's go to Toys Go Green. There's 4 different areas that we identified in Germany last year for the Spielwarenmesse, but they're very true today. These are the 4 different ways that sustainability is affecting us. So there's made by nature, and these are toys made with traditional materials, wood, felt, bamboo, rubber wood. And then there's inspired by nature. So these are environmentally friendly toys made from bio-based and renewable raw materials like corn to make the plastic for the products. Those are sourced from nature. Third is recycle and create, using toys that are created from recycled materials, upcycled and reusable resources, and supporting a circular economy. And then the Discover Sustainability is really teaching kids, like using an educational tool to teach kids and inspire them through play about the sustainability concepts. So for example, in the corner, the puzzle that you see there is made from just natural woods. But what they do in Spain is they use different kinds of woods to give them the different colors. And they made, this one is a beehive. So the outside is the beehive, and as you take the puzzle apart, then you see what the inside of the beehive looks like. So they have a variety of these different puzzles, and they won a toy award in Germany. The 7-in-1 Space Activity Cube is one of those activity cubes, but it teaches kids about space and about being an alien and about galaxies and different things in a fun and interactive way. They won a toy award this year. Timber Tumble game by Plan Toys. Plan Toys has been around over 25 years, always making sustainable toys in a sustainable factory, using sustainable forests and wood and soy inks. So they're a company that especially does a good job with eco. Terra Kids connection sets are really cool. You can go out, you have like a little instruction book, and it says, okay, you need to get some leaves, you need to get some sticks, you need to get different materials. And then they have these connectors that you have a little drill, and you drill it into the wood and you connect it, and your wings maybe look different from somebody else's wings because they picked a different branch. Or your creatures may look different. There's a variety of 4 sets right now, but it's doing so well. I'm sure they're going to have other sets as well. And that's distributed by Haba Poland here. The soapstone carving kit by Studio Stone in Canada is their soapstone materials, but they make them in the shapes of cats, dogs, lions, sea lions, dolphins, and they're just flat. But as you use your tools, you shape them into the shape of the character, and afterwards you polish it. And it makes it a really fun little collectible characters, and it's very mindful. It takes about 2.5, 3 hours to do this, but you do it over a period of days. But both adults and kids are finding this as a satisfying activity. The Baby Pure Teether and Rattle was also made in these different types of wood, and they're for babies. You know, they're healthy, they're safe, they are non-toxic materials, and they're beautiful. My first infant playthings are made in Sri Lanka, and they're bath toys, they're chew toys, they're play with toys, and they're washable, so they're very safe for infants. Sophie the giraffe has celebrated over 25 years in the industry and made from Havia rubber wood in Malaysia, which is a renewable source. The colorful cork blocks, when you play with these cork blocks, they stick together because of the friction of the cork. But when they fall over, if you make a huge tower, it's quiet. You can't hear a thing because when they fall, they don't make any noise. Yeah. And then there's soft fabric and felt books created in Canada. And this company, I really like what they do. They make these books that have amazing activities in them, in these soft felt books. But for every book that's sold, they donate a book to another family in India, and they give money for a child for 1 month for a girl to go to school in India. So, I mean, it's a company that gives back. Felt toys. There's these felt rainbow gnomes in different colors. Papoose Toys, which is in Nepal, makes these, and in the US, they're sold through a company, but they employ women in the fair trade. They employ women who live in Nepal, who otherwise wouldn't have a job. They're making these products, and they're sharing them around the world now. Bamboo, Baba Boo and Friends is a new character brand that has publishing, and it also has characters. So all of the characters have a flaw in them. For example, the lion is not really as courageous as you would think the lion is. He's kind of scared, and his friends have to help him sometimes. There's a little monkey, and he's always mischievous, getting into trouble. But the books tie together the stories of these little characters. And the boxes they sell them in are all reusable. They're giftable boxes, but you can use them as the houses for the little characters. And it's a really fresh, nice, new brand. It was just introduced about 1.5 years ago. Nop Nop they use felt, and the connectors are like little snaps. And you can make a variety of different things with each individual set. So they're beautiful, they're durable, and they also were a nominee for a toy award last year. Organic cotton materials. That's something that people are wanting for their babies. A lot of babies are more allergic these days. And then organic certified plush by Bears for Humanity. They used to, whenever you bought a bear, they would give a bear to a child in need who couldn't afford a bear. And it was a for-profit company. But what they did is they were so successful with it that they decided to make it a nonprofit company and put all the money back into supporting children in the world who don't have, and then making beautiful new products. And it's all sustainable factory, materials, everything. So they're another standout company for doing a great job. Here's some examples of the inspired by nature trend. So you've got a pen box here. It looks like a dinosaur, but it's all made from post-consumer waste materials from sustainable forests. On the bottom, the tableware is made in child-sized, plates and little spoons and forks, but they're all made out of materials that you can actually eat on and put in your dishwasher and wash them again. And they're beautiful. It's just a beautiful little set for kids to pretend play or to use during their regular life. The magic marble seed bombs. I don't know if anybody's played with a seed bomb before, but these particular bombs are filled with seeds of sunflowers or flowers or different things that are in nature. So you can either throw it somewhere and see if it sprouts up, or you can dig a hole and plant it. And it all dissolves and then becomes beautiful flowers that you don't know what they're going to be. It's kind of an unboxing for flowers. Binibo creative building sets. They have these flexible little pieces that it's all made from bio-based materials. And you can connect them together to make a ball or a person or a shape or whatever you want. They're very flexible, and it's very satisfying playing with them and clicking them together. The Lego Treehouse Blooming uses sustainable bricks. This particular set, all of the different elements of the tree that are green if you're making a springtime, or they're yellows and oranges if you're making a summertime, an autumn display. And Lego is trying, they've made their factory sustainable. They're trying to make as many of their bricks sustainable as they can. I mean, they're the biggest player in the world. So they're doing everything they can to build a sustainable world, knowing that they have been using plastics and trying to put that together in a different way. In Sweden, Viking Toys is using bio-based plastics, and they've got a whole line of product with that. The Begin Again Toys in the USA is they make products out of corn-based materials, wood sawdust that's pressed together. They've been around for about 10 years, and someone actually bought them at one point. And then they manufactured everything in China instead of in the US. So they weren't doing that well. So Begin Again Toys bought them back, and now they're called, they were called Sprig Toys, and now they're called Begin Again Toys because they've got their brands and their pieces back, and they're manufacturing everything in the US. Wiltopia playsets by Playmobil are all made from 80% bio-based materials, and they're trying to build this particular line to be a more eco-friendly line. And then building blocks from this company in Austria are just fun, colorful blocks that are fun to play with and build with, and they're beautiful colors as well. Replay is a new brand by Water, and it's also won an award for the Toy of the Year award this year. And they've got beautiful colors. It's all made from post-consumer waste that comes from Austria. So everybody's trying to reuse waste and recycle and have a circular economy. Most toy companies are trying to build at least a piece of their business in eco, and you'll notice that as you go through the fair. Green Toys is a West Coast-based company. They make all of their vehicles and things out of water bottles or water jugs or yogurt cups, and they use West Coast-based manufacturing so that they can get those West Coast materials and keep their carbon footprint smaller. But a lot of people like these toys, and they are being sold around the world as well. The Creative Building Blocks by Bavik, who's only been around less than 2 years. They've won tons of awards like the Red Dot Award, and they just won the Toy Award for new sustainability product. On the right-hand side, Luke's Toy Factory, they use, walnut seeds and flax seeds and hemp and different kinds of materials to blend together to make their products. So like the Green Toys on the West Coast, they're on the East Coast, and they once again try and get their carbon footprint to be smaller by using materials that are reused and recycled from the East Coast. And then Toy Eye in Turkey they have in their kit like eyeballs and legs and arms, but they're using bottles, like recycled water bottles or pine cones, cups that you have at home that you would otherwise throw away to make fun little playthings. And they've done so well in the last years over the pandemic. They now have 5 different ranges of product that they showed me when I was in Spielwarenmesse. And it's different sizes, small, medium, large, and people have really loved the concept of what they're doing. The Message from the Planet are products that are made by Wild Planet. They're made from recycled water bottles. They're made from, both the plush on the outside and the pellets that fill the inside of the plush are all made from recycled materials, but they're also using endangered species as the characters that they use and the animals they use in this line. And you'll see the color. I mean, they're really beautiful pop culture kind of pop art illustrations. The Shore Buddies they were one of the first ones to use these recycled water bottles. And they actually have an educational program for kids, both in books, and they go into the schools and teach kids about it. And they actually take them on field trips to collect waste from the ocean to put back into remaking these different characters. In the middle, the Blue Marine Toys Watermill, they use materials from maritime products, whether it's nets, buoy rings, different things that you find in the ocean, and they clean it up and make it into bath toys and water toys, which is kind of cool. It's like coming back to life again. The Rocky Stacking Stones game is actually made from old refrigerator doors. If you throw in the refrigerator door, they throwing it away. They go and pick up these doors. They get them from companies, and they make stacking games. This one happens to be one of the games is a stacking game of different sized and shaped materials. And what a cool idea to reuse refrigerator doors. Clippets in France uses bottle caps. They have kids collect bottle caps, different shapes, colors, sizes. You can go online and see different things they've made. And they have little clips that clip them together. So you can make, like this one has a Santa Claus you can make, for example, or you can make little creatures, that are three-dimensional. But it's teaching kids to recycle and reuse and have fun with it. There's also socially conscious play that teaches kids. The Butterfly Garden teaches kids about how to raise from just a caterpillar to a pod to a butterfly, and it has a butterfly home so the kids can see them. It teaches them how to feed their butterflies. And it's just a really fun activity for at home, or this happens to be their homeschool edition that they made during the pandemic. Green Science, their products have like 15 or more experiments in each of their different kits. And they're now distributed by Play Monster. The Colors of the World crayons, I really love these. It's less than like $8 to buy this kit, but it has all the different colors of skin tones around. Well, not all maybe, but quite a few. So kids now can build their self-esteem by making pictures of themselves in their own color, their own shade. And that's so empowering for a kid. And then Be Kind Dolls by Jada Toys, they use recycled materials. They use fabrics that are recycled. They are teaching kids to be kind to nature, kind to their friends, and kind to themselves. So with the whole circular message about just being kind in general to people. Discover Sustainability is about teaching kids through games, through different ways. So these are all Polish companies, actually. The Cycles of Life game by Science Boards takes different cycles. Like you can see here, this is a cycle of a butterfly, the pod, then how it comes out, how it goes into a butterfly, the whole process. And it's teaching kids about a variety of different animals and creatures and what the cycle is. Moco Pico has a puzzle called I Am a Little Sea Turtle. They also have tigers. They have different animals, but that shape is the unusual shape of the puzzle. And you can put it together and put it on your wall. So you're learning about nature, you're learning about these sea creatures, and you're having fun doing an activity of the puzzle. The segregation action game in the middle there won Toy Year Award last year, and it's all about teaching kids how to recycle. How do you know which plastics you can recycle and which ones you can't? Where does glass go? How about aluminum? Paper that you've used and paper that you haven't used again, that you're just going to crumple up. Like, how do you know which things are recycled and which ones aren't? So they learn about it in this game. And then this Ecosister card game is by I think it's called Our Library in English. But they have these cards that teach kids what the cycle is. Like a dragonfly will be eaten by a trout, the bear will eat the trout, and people will eat the bear. So it's teaching them how that cycle of life goes. And it's not that that's just how it is. So if kids get sad that the dragonfly got eaten by the fish, they're like, yeah, but that fish could be in your stomach later. That could be your tummy, that fish is doing. But they're very beautiful imagery also that they have in this. So what we reviewed today is we looked at the metaverse and some of the impact on toys, and then that whole meta toys area. We looked at Discover and how people are emerging from their own cocoon, during the COVID, and then Brands for Fans. All of these are going to continue to grow. And these are just some examples. So if you have any examples of your products that might fit this, let me know. And then maybe the next speech or next year, I'll have you in the presentation as well. And then the Toys Go Green. Sustainability continues to be important to consumers, to retailers. And, there's a variety of different ways you can participate in that. So here's my information. And if you want to, give me a call, drop me a line, or if you have any questions, I have a headset I can put on. You can ask the questions in Polish, and my translator will translate them into English for me, so I know what the question is. Do you need to have a microphone, I think? Or, let's see, how does that work? Do they need to ask on a microphone so he can hear what the questions are? Does anyone have any questions? Come on, I know you have a question or two. Okay, well, thank you for coming to the presentation, and I appreciate it. And I see one of our speakers for tomorrow is here with all of the research, Paul, and he'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow or today? Tomorrow, I thought it was tomorrow. On the research in the industry as to what categories are up, which categories are down. And we actually used to work together at a different research company in the past, so we know each other. So thank you for attending. And I'll be doing this again on Friday at 12 o'clock if you have any colleagues that you want to come and see it. And they're also recording it. So thank you. Just take